Let me first bring you the very latest we're getting from Tunisia now. We understand that the hostage crisis that started a few hours ago is over. Security sources say that 2 gunmen and 1 police officer were killed during that operation. The militants had taken hostages at a museum on the same compound as Parliament after apparently planning an attack on Parliament. But now the hostages have been freed. Now, the gunmen, though, had already killed at least 8 people, including British and French nationals. For more on this, I'm joined in the studio by Wassim Nasr, our expert on jihadi movements. So, Wassim, there's been no claim responsibility so far for this attack. Any idea, though, who could be behind this?
Exactly. There's no claim yet, even though it was said that the Islamic State claimed it. This media information is totally wrong. There's no official claim yet. But regarding the way they acted, and knowing that yesterday a very eminent member of the Akbab al-Nafa unit, which belongs to Al-Qaeda in Maghreb, issued a statement calling for jihad in Tunisia, and in Tunis particularly, and in Bizerte, I guess that this option is the good one. I guess Al-Qaeda is behind this, and we should know also that it seems very well prepared, because even if they failed the attack on the parliament, I guess that anyways they wanted to attack the museum where they can find and foreign tourists, where they can kill them and take them hostage, which will give them a huge media coverage, because they plan things, and they know if they can kill foreigners, tourists, they will get the media coverage. So it was planned. And we should remember also that the Islamic State doesn't have any unit or any faction active today in Tunisia. The Islamic State is active in Libya, but not in Tunisia yet. There's another thing that we can say. There's a very eminent emir or commander of the Islamic State which was killed in Sirte during the fighting with the Libyan rebels. And he's Tunisian. Ruisi is very well known from Tunisian authorities, and he was the one who planned and acted in the killings of 2 leftist deputies a few years ago. And he was killed 2 days ago. So it could be a kind of retaliation for his death. But I don't think so, because the Al-Qaeda way of action is very present in what happened today in Tunisia. But one more time, there's no official claim yet, and I guess in the upcoming hours we'll get to know who was behind this.
Now, we are getting a confirmation that all the hostages have been released. At least 8 people killed, though, in that attack. Now, like you were saying, we're not entirely sure yet who was behind this, but Tunisia is a country that had managed to rather successfully, rather peacefully make a transition to democracy, and now this has happened. I mean, before this attack, just how much of a threat would you have said that Islamist groups really presented?
I guess that Tunisia was an exception, yes, of course, as you are saying, but we shouldn't forget that jihadi groups are different from Islamist political parties like Al-Nahda, which was in power till a few months ago. Jihadi groups consider Al-Nahda as the enemies of Islam. Al-Nahda politicians are targets for jihadi groups, and people should be aware of this. The jihadi groups were very active even under Al-Nahda rule, against the army, against the police. The Al-Nahda interior minister put many of them in jail. That also we should remember. So these guys, the jihadi groups, have another plan for Tunisia. They have a plan of an Islamic rule which doesn't go through democracy, as Islamic parties like Al-Nahda, for example. So Democrats, secularist parties, and Al-Nahda, which is an Islamist party, are targets for the jihadis. And we should remember also that Tunisians are very active in the ranks of the Islamic State. There are very high-ranking commanders who are Tunisian, which issued many calls for jihad in Tunisia in the last few months. Tunisians like Ruisi, who was killed in Sirte, are very active in Libya. They are the ones bringing their other Tunisians to Libya to train. They were the ones who are creating training camps. Even in the communication aspect of jihadi communication, Tunisians are one of the best or the most performant elements in this communication. So Tunisia is concerned with jihad. Tunisia gives the biggest contingent of jihadi fighters to jihadi groups. So at one point today, because Tunisia is considered by these groups as a jihad land, which wasn't the case before, Tunisia is going to be affected by what's happening. And when we know that few hundred people in a mountain are giving a hard time to successive governments since the revolution, we should expect that, we should know that what happened today was a bit expected.
Okay, thank you very much indeed for that, Wassim.